Hello, hope all is well. This is a 5-minute recap of last weekend's message. Big thanks to everybody who says how much they appreciate it. Nobody's told me to stop sending these out, so that's good news as well. Our sermon series is Putting Steel in Your Spine, Standing Tall in a Changing Culture. Last weekend we talked about the fact that God does use opposition to grow his church. He uses more than opposition, he uses persecution to grow his church. Isaiah 55. 8 through 9. My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. It does seem backwards. It does seem opposite to us, but God does use opposition to grow his church. And we are going to face opposition. We are and we will. And as much as we want to fret it and wring our hands about it, God, in his wisdom, actually uses this to grow his church. In Acts chapter 1, Jesus says, go and be disciples to the ends of the earth. It's not to the martyrdom, the death of Stephen, that they actually are scattered. And when they scattered in Acts chapter 8, verse 4, it says, they scattered and preached the word wherever they went. We are people and creatures of comfort and familiarity. God uses things, hard things, to push us out of that comfort. The ease, safety, affluence, prosperity actually cause inertia in the church. Things at rest tend to stay at rest. We think those things would actually propel and produce energy and investment, but in fact they do quite the opposite. Besides the danger of laziness, how does God use opposition, persecution to grow his church? 4 things. To make the church us more like Christ. He uses it to grow our character. Romans 8:29, to be conformed to the image of his Son. The church is made up of individuals. God wants to grow our character as a church. That means he's growing our character as individuals. We want refining, but we want it without fire. We're going to put steel in our spine. There's going to have to be some fire. The second thing, sounds harsh. God uses opposition and persecution to purify his church. There have always been wolves and goats among the sheep. God desires and requires a pure bride. He often refines us as silver in a crucible to sort out the counterfeits. There is a sifting going on in the church today. And again, that's really hard for us to understand. Western Christians, we tend to think with a fairy tale mindset. They all lived happily ever after. Not the case. God requires a pure bride. And that means sometimes he's going to shrink our numbers because the church has gotten really friendly with the world. And James 4:4, I don't have time, read it. God does not want his church to be friendly with the world. The third point, God brings glory to himself through persecution. God orchestrates everything to happen to bring glory to himself. Think about it. Is it easier to bring God glory when everything's great, or is it easier to bring God glory when things are tough? We reflect him well. We reflect him better when we persevere under trial, as opposed to when everything's great. When opposed, we must take heart that God will judge the earth and do what is just. He loves justice. He hates lying. People are accountable for their deceit. And God does allow all these things, and because it brings glory to him. The last point is the hardest one to swallow. God's plans seem to depend on persecution. Revelation 6, I don't have time to read the whole thing, verses 9 through 11, look it up. How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood? This is people who have been killed for their faith. They're speaking. Then each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to wait a little longer until the full number of their fellow servants, their brothers and sisters, were killed just as they had been. It seems the end of time, the consummation of history, the return of the Lord, all the things that we're looking forward to are dependent on the number of martyrs. Whew! Again, my ways are not your ways. We ended by talking about this passage in 2 Corinthians 4, 17 through 18. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing us for the eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. No matter what's going on, now and in the future, the opposition that we now face, the opposition that we will face. I hope that you see that this is a light and momentary affliction. How about this phrase? For the eternal weight of glory. So we all need a little bit more perspective at times. The bottom line, God does use opposition to grow his church. Again, it sounds opposite, sounds backwards to us, but for all the reasons listed, that's how he works. Hey, tonight is our house of prayer. Starts at 7 o'clock. If you need a nice, quiet place to come hear the scriptures, have some time of reflective prayer, all on your own pace. At 8 o'clock, we're going to pray together if anybody's here. So, for the people who are here. All right. Take care. God bless. Hope to see you tonight at 7. Take care. Bye.